Good afternoon. Welcome to Africa Today. I am Jessica Magaji Joseph. First, the headlines. NLC warns against clampdown on proposed hunger protest. Gambia's delegation to ECOWAS Parliament unveils country's economic growth. UAE President expresses support in call with Burhan to end conflict in Sudan. And on sport, Team Nigeria boxer arrive France. Now the news in detail. The Nigeria Labour Congress on Monday issued a warning against any attempt to suppress Nigerians' fundamental right to express their views, particularly in the light of the planned nationwide protest. The NLC instead called on the government to engage the protesters constructively rather than resorting to measures that could undermine citizens' rights to voice their grievances. The Labour Union also called on President Bola Tinubu to listen to the cries of Nigerians over hunger and widespread hardship in the country. A section of Nigerians have been mobilized to start nationwide protests on August 1st under the hashtag Tinubu Must Go and hashtag Revolution 2024. The presidency, however, described such calls as treasonable, as it also accused the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, and his supporters of spreading the hashtag. In a lengthy tweet published on his X account, the special advisor to the president on information and strategy, Bayo Onanuga, alleged that the sponsors of the protest were not Democrats but anarchists. Abia State Governor Alex Otti said his administration is resolute in ending corruption, diversify and clannish system of governance in the state. This is as he declared that many of those who led the state in the past did not emerge through the popular will of the people, but through alleged electoral manipulation. Governor Otti declared that going forward, leaders that will lead Abia State will emerge through the popular will of the people. He said that his administration is practicing good governance and ensuring equitable distribution of democracy dividends to all parts of the state. He further said that his administration was not interested in state or local government of origin, but believed that anybody who lives and pays their tax in the state is an Abian. The Chief of Army Staff, Tarid Lagbaja, has said the insecurity bedeviling the northwest region of the country has been worsened by the activities of illegal miners and bandits, among others. He added that the insecurity in the region was dynamic, requiring a periodic review of the security strategy. Lagbaja, represented by the Nigerian Army Chief of Operation, BRC Gen, spoke in Abuja at the opening of a 3-day retreat for retired and serving commanders in the northwest. He lamented that despite the Army's efforts to curb the activities of illegal miners and bandits, they continue to impact the northwest and the country as a whole. Lagbaja said the current security challenges the nation is facing are volatile, complex, and fluid, and vary from one zone to another. In the northwest, the security situation is made complex and persistent by activities of non-state actors who engage in banditry, kidnapping, cattle rustling, illegal mining, and violent attacks leading to the destruction of lives and means of livelihoods. A suspected top smuggling magnate in Adamawa State has disclosed that smugglers operating within the Adamawa Taraba Command, (ULA), have a memorandum of understanding with operatives of the Marine Customs stationed at the border coastal area of the command and the neighboring countries of Niger, Cameroon, Mali, and others. As a result, the smuggling kingpin urged the Nigerian Customs Service Comptroller Adeniyi Bashir to dissolve and disband the Operation Whirlwind with immediate effect. The smuggler, who spoke with on condition of anonymity, accused the newly created anti-smuggling outfit Operation Whirlwind of interfering in their businesses, which he classifies as exportation of petroleum products. The renowned smuggler argued that since the federal government has removed subsidy on petroleum products, it has lost the constitutional right to control the price rate at which the products are sold and when they are sold. When we return, news from other parts of West Africa. Please stay with us. Welcome back. Ghana's Institute of Economic Affairs has clarified that it has not yet extended invitations to any political parties or presidential candidates for the upcoming presidential debate. This comes after concerns raised by the Mahama 2024 campaign that the Institute announced such activity as if a stakeholder, the National Democratic Congress, has been engaged. According to the release signed by John Mahama's spokesperson, Joyce Motgari, stated that Constitution of Ghana does not grant the IEA any authority to organize elections-related activities. The fact that the IEA has not shown the decency or respect to at least inform the NDC of its plans raises serious questions about its motives. In response, the statement signed by IEA Chairman Charles Mensah explained that indeed the IEA had not engaged any political party or presidential candidate prior to its press release. The Institute intended to follow the release with individuals' letters to the candidates inviting them to the debate and other activities. The Gambian delegation to the ECOWAS Parliament has unveiled its home government economic growth, youth development, climate resilience, and macroeconomic convergence report, describing the outcomes as positive achievements. This is contained in the Gambia's country report, which was presented by the delegation at the 2024 ECOWAS Parliament First Ordinary Session in Abuja. The report underscored the country's commitment to sustainable development, climate resilience, regional cooperation, peace, security, and development. The Gambia's 5-man delegation, led by Bilay Tonkara, outlined the government's achievements and the giant strides it has made in economic growth, youth development, and climate resilience. According to the report, the country's economy is remarkably resilient and will significantly experience 4.8% growth in 2023, which is projected to catapult to 5.4% this year. We move to other parts of Africa after this break. Please stay with us.
This is Hills TV. Quality broadcasting is what we'll bring to you. Now we be this
Thanks for staying with us. The President of the United Arab Emirates has expressed his country's support for Sudan and finding a solution to end the ongoing conflict there. His comments came in a phone call on Thursday with the head of the Sudanese army, Abdel Fattah al-Burhan. President Mohammed bin Zayed is reported to have said the UAE is keen to support all solutions and initiatives aimed at halting escalation and ending the crisis in Sudan. The call is the first between the two leaders since relations between them soared last year due to the UAE's support of the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces, with whom the Sudanese army has been at war for over a year. A recent UN report confirmed that Abu Dhabi had supplied weapons and ammunition to the RSF disguised as humanitarian aid, but UAE has denied. More than 10 million have been displaced in Sudan since the conflict began, and nearly 25 million people are in need of aid, according to the UN. In the Democratic Republic of Congo, Makala prison holds over 15,000 inmates, far exceeding its 1,500 capacity. Most are in pretrial detention, creating inhumane conditions, according to a December 2023 report by the Bill Clinton Foundation for Peace. Stanis Bujakere, formerly detained in Makala, posted videos on social media showing extreme overcrowding. He describes the prison as a place where people are dying alive. In response, Minister Constant Mutambe claims efforts are underway to reduce overcrowding in all Congolese prisons. He dismissed Bujakere's videos as old footage and asserted that the government provides adequately for prisoners' food and medical needs, insisting that conditions are not as bad as depicted. Up next is business. Please stay with us. Welcome back. On business, Nigerian legislators has launched a probe into the reported importation of polluted fuel into the nation in a bid to resolve disputes between Africa's wealthiest man, Aliko Dangote's oil refinery, and the regulatory body.
If I knew what we were going to get into, I wouldn't have even started it at all. And you can really see, honestly, we didn't have a single idea of what we were getting into. And that is why right from the beginning, we launched 31 projects, all concurrently. So, this one here alone is enough to give somebody gray hair, headache, and whatever. And, but it's like what I said, we're in the middle of the sea. If we stop swimming, we'll sink. The only option is just to continue swimming. No.
The chairman, Ikenga Ugo Chinyere, revealed that the legislative committee conducting the probe is investigating allegations of the unregulated issuance of licenses and the purported lack of international standard laboratories associated with the contaminated products in Abuja. The committee urged the parties in Nigeria's petroleum sector to reduce tensions that have been heightened in recent weeks by allegations from the regulator that Dangote was trying to monopolize the market and that his refineries' products are of poor quality. Dangote claimed that the mafia in the oil industry is more dangerous than the mafia involved in drugs. He emphasized that while you may have some knowledge of your opponents in the drug trade, the oil mafia operates in secrecy, both internally and externally. He expressed his certainty that they may even have insiders aiding them in their operations. Dangote also lamented the fact that Nigeria has been struggling with fuel queues since 1972, calling it a national shame.
Mafia in oil business, they are worse than the mafia in drugs. Yes, so they are big, because in drugs, you at least have an idea who and who you are fighting. But in oil, you don't know. Yes, yeah, both internally, externally, even within, yes. And I can tell you, I'm 100% sure, they might even have people inside us. So that's how they operate. But it is also really a pity and a national shame for us that we have been trying to address, the fuel queues since 19.
The largest refinery in Africa, located in Lagos, has a capacity of 650,000 barrels per day. Due to challenges in sourcing crude oil locally, the refinery has had to rely on imports from other countries, highlighting Nigeria's struggle with oil theft and corruption. Kenya has submitted an economic repair plan to the International Monetary Fund, and it expects the fund's board to review it for approval at a meeting at the end of August. The country's chief minister has said. Kenya has been forced to rapidly draw up new spending cuts after widespread youth-led protests against tax hikes previously put forward by President William Ruto's government left at least 50 people dead. Musalia Mudavadi, the chief minister, told Parliament's Budget Committee in remarks that the Treasury has a very robust engagement with the International Monetary Fund, even in the midst of the challenges Kenya has been facing. He said the government has presented its economic policies and programs planned to the fund, and it will be considered by the IMF board at the end of August. The South African rand weakened in early trading on Tuesday as investors looked towards June inflation data due out on Wednesday, and markets watched for development in the U.S. presidential race. The rand traded at 18.38 against the dollar, about 0.7% weaker than its previous close. Market participants are sitting on the sidelines watching the U.S. presidential race unfold, and also local inflation data out tomorrow, said Rand Merchant Bank analyst in a research note. Investors will turn to June inflation data due on Wednesday for hints on the future interest rate, part of Africa's most industrialized economy. Monetary policy has remained tight as the central bank tries to steer inflation back towards the midpoint of its 3% to 6% target range. Still to come, sports. Please stay with us. Welcome back. On sport, global icon and four-time NBA champion LeBron James has been picked by his fellow U.S. Olympians to serve as the male flag bearer at the opening ceremony for the Paris Games. The three-time Olympic medalist got word of the honor Monday in London. James becomes the third basketball player and the first men's player to carry the U.S. flag at the start of an Olympics. The USA is expected to have nearly 600 athletes in the Games. The July 26 opening ceremony will be like none other in Olympic history. Thousands of athletes from over 80 national Olympic committees will be part of a flotilla sailing along the River Seine at sunset towards the Eiffel Tower. The female U.S. flag bearer will be revealed in the coming days. The International Olympic Committee decided in 2020 that national delegations would have two flag bearers, one male, one female, at the opening ceremony at an Olympics, a move to promote parity. Team Nigeria boxers Cynthia Ogunse-Milore and Adams Olore have arrived Paris for the 2024 Games. Olore will compete in the men's heavyweight division, while Ogunse-Milore will compete for honors in the women's category. The other boxer, Dolapo Omole, at 57 kg fighter, was forced to withdraw from the Games due to an injury sustained in training. Olare and Ogunse-Milore will hope to end Nigeria's 28-year medal drought in boxing. Duncan Dokiwari was the last Nigerian to win a medal at the Games. Dokiwari claimed bronze in the super heavyweight category at the 1996 Olympic Games. And that's the sport news on Africa Today. We move to the rest of the news after this break. Please stay with us.
This is Hills TV. Quality broadcasting is what we'll bring to you. Now we be this
Thanks for staying with us. Outgoing Managing Director of the Nigerian Ports Authority, Mohammed Bello Koko, on Monday disclosed that the agency generated 541 billion naira in the first half of 2024. The agency equally remitted 255 billion naira to the Consolidated Revenue Fund within the first 6 months of the year, Koko further disclosed. Koko, who made the disclosure in his valedictory remarks while handing over to the new NPA Managing Director, Abubakar Dansoho, at the organization's headquarters in Lagos, said the performance of the agency in the first half of 2024 surpassed its year-on-year total revenue generation and remittance in any year. According to him, the cumulative revenue of the NPA between 2022 and the first half of 2024 was 1.423 trillion naira. He also disclosed that he is handing over a new staff clinic and 5 other completed projects to his successor for commissioning. And that's Africa Today. But before we go, here are the headlines again. We told you that NLC warns against clampdown on proposed hunger protest. Gambia's delegation to ECOWAS Parliament unveils country's economic growth. UAE President expressed support in call with Burhan to end conflict in Sudan. And on sport, Team Nigerian boxers arrive France. Remember to visit us on Facebook at Hills TV Abuja, Instagram at Hills TV, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Hills TV. I am Jessica Magaji Joseph. Thanks for watching.